And then they just had a jet seat over on Randomizer 2, so I think we're going to be right in the middle. I think that's kind of what we're due for. But we're going to get started here. It looks like we have Xarnax with the Warrior Sprite, MonsieurSlime with the Metal Slime Sprite.
And to begin with, we have the torch. We have the herb, so just the basic adventures gear kit. And the obligatory magic key. Starting sets are not that bad. 11 strength and 18 HP, certainly enough to go out and beat some stuff up.
Yeah, absolutely. 11 strength is a great start. Not too much swamp around the castle. We're able to get out and actually get into some grind and go here. And then the only stat that's low is our HP score of 18. That's a little lower than what we'd like to see starting. But this should be a pretty easy early grind.
Well, Xarnax is going to get on right away, going to be able to find 2 ghosts, and that will pretty much instantly propel him to level 2. In the meantime, MonsieurSlime actually getting the Magidrakey, so MonsieurSlime starting his first fight as Xarnax will get 1, 1, 2, 11, and no spells.
Yeah, that MP is definitely a little taunting. 39 MP at level 2, but we have nothing we can use it with.
Oh, Xarnax with the Kaishin no Ichigeki, just taking out that Scorpion in one shot for 2, 14, 3, and 17. Lots of magic, no spell.
Yeah, a little concerning that we've only seen 3 strength since the first level. But it's still early. We've got plenty of time to get that strength up.
Yep, going to be looking for 35 experience for the next level, so just the Magidrakey will do it for Xarnax.
And meanwhile, MonsieurSlime is going to take down a ghost to get level 2. Both the runners just kind of committing to this early game grind, seeing as how we don't really have much else to do.
Meantime, if Xarnax can defeat the Scorpion, that will be level 4.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer of a fight here with this Scorpion, but we should be able to make it. He does have an herb in backup, so we should be fine here.
Oh, but he goes for it, only deals 1 damage, and the Scorpion takes him out. I don't know if he used that herb earlier or what, but MonsieurSlime going to elect to run from the Magidrakey. Maybe. And yeah, neither runner, no gold, not much point in trying to poke out. The best you can do is the extremely rare off chance that bonus cave's sitting right there with something major.
Yeah, that'd be the hope and pray here. MonsieurSlime 1 enemy away from his next level.
Oh, but the big hit from the ghost takes him out. Xarnax can give this Magidrakey a run, maybe. Yeah, and that'll easily be level 4. Even the ghost would have been level 4, so gonna see that soon.
Yeah, Magidrakey definitely a lot safer of a fight than the Scorpion is.
And down it goes, so we will see level 4, and it has 4 power, 0 agility, 6 health, 4 magic. We get both healing spells, so that is actually really good because you have heal more for later, but you also have heal for right now when your HP isn't that high. Only rocking 29 HP, that's perfect for healing up between fights with the heal, but heal more at this point is just overkill.
Yeah, absolutely, and that 18 strength is coming in handy as well. Dealing some better damage to some of these Zone 2 enemies here. It's going to help out quite considerably with obtaining some more experience.
Yeah, it looks like Xarnax is content to just stick here, and I don't blame him. All the fights just became a lot safer now that you can just pop a heal when you get low.
Yeah, absolutely. And the enemies around here are still giving fairly decent experience in comparison to what you need to advance to the next level. We'll probably see him branch out after he gets level 5, depending upon what the stats are there. The Scorpion gonna prove to be much less of a problem now that we're able to regain our HP as well.
Yep, they are casting heal, going almost back to full, and able to finish off the Scorpion. I think that's level 5. And the pause tells me that it is, so let's see. 2 power, 1 agility, 5 health, 2 magic, so not exactly the grass level. We'll see if he decides to poke his head out and see what goods are to be found, or if he's going to go to level 6. And it's looking like level 6.
Yeah, scorpions are fairly common in this zone. We've seen Magidrakies, we've seen scorpions, and we've seen ghosts, but we haven't seen much of anything else. So that tells me that we're probably looking at one of those enemies being a 40% encounter. Hopefully it's the scorpion, just for experience sake.
In the meantime, MonsieurSlime, I don't know if I'm butchering that or not. Pardon my bad French, but MonsieurSlime up to level 4, so we'll see if he branches out into the world with that healing. Monsieur.
It looks like he is pretty content with sticking around, grinding out some as well. And it's not too much further to the next level. And thank you, Brexis Muse, for the proper pronunciation. Monsieur. So, Smashy, what do you think of the tournament so far?
Well, seeing as I'm currently 3-0, I think it's been going pretty fine, but yeah, this has certainly been exciting playing on this new randomizer version with the new map logic. Has made the exploration a lot more interesting with all the little rivers and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're also seeing some people that are just kind of coming out of the woodworks with some pretty decent records. One of them, notably Angel FM, he's pretty new to the randomizer, but he has a pretty good record. Once he finishes up his race, he will be 2-1. So, I mean, he's doing really well. And then we also have some other people that are placing really well as well.
And it looks like level 6 had big strength. Yep. 19 strength on level 6, so if you weren't able to beat stuff up, you are now. And HP, not that bad with 9 of it. And it looks like Xarnax is taking that gain and running with it.
Yeah.
Dude, where are you going, left or right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely the time to branch out and let things take its course. And he's still going to be picking up enemies along the way with that huge strength gain. He's going to be pretty safe in his exploration for these first couple of zones.
And womp womp, Xarnax is strong and is in a dead end. However, he has seen a very important thing. Bridge to a one-tile piece of land. Sparkover loves it. If you don't know, the Sparkover Bridge is a bridge leading to a single tile. You can see a nice, beautiful one just south of where Xarnax is.
It looks like the zone that's in the bottom of those desert tiles there has some Zone 2 enemies. So maybe we'll see him just kind of pick up some enemies here. Then again, I've been wrong before.
Yeah, looking like a lot of Zone 0 as well. Zone 0 is the zone that includes Tantagel. It goes up to a maximum of slime. Zone 1 are the zones directly north, south, east, and west of Tantagel. They go up to the wolf. And beyond that, anything's fair game. And what else is fair game is a town for Xarnax. Let's see what it is. It is Cantland. So 2 shops immediately available. Once you pick up keys, that makes a 3rd shop available, as Xarnax is going to pick up some leather armor. The first shop having, I believe, magic and silver shield and a nice little broadsword. Oh no magic, just full plate. Same defense, just without all the magic perks. And Xarnax... Actually, I don't think Xarnax bought the leather armor. I think he's going to look for chain in this bottom shop. But picking up some fairy water to cast effectively return. And nope, nothing, no chainmail in the bottom shop, so no leather armor, just the copper sword for plus 10 attack power.
And he also picked up the small shield as well, which gives him a little bit of a defense boost as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be just some couple supplies after this, the dragon scale, and maybe a torch, and that's it. In the meantime, Slime finds the red dragon, and, well, fun police.
Yep, they were bound to make an appearance at some point or another. Looks like he was west of the castle there, so northwest of the castle, I should say.
In the meantime, it looks like Xarnax actually just made a gigantic loop. That gigantic swamp was nothing. MonsieurSlime... Monsieur, I think. Whatever. Well, Slime found a cave. Not sure what it was. Currently fighting a Magidrake. He actually deciding to run after getting the crit.
Yeah, that's an interesting play. He doesn't have a ton of HP to work with, and his attack power isn't quite high enough to where that fight's going to be very resource intensive. So, yeah, I definitely respect running from him. He wants to get some exploration done.
Chat telling me to say Mr. Slime. And it looks like... Okay, it looks like this cave was just northwest of Tantagel. So not too far from the town. We'll see what is from Xarnax's perspective. Oh, it's a staff cave. Okay, so once they obtain the silver harp, which is one of the key items, they will be able to take it to that cave and get the Staff of Rain, which is one of the components to make the Rainbow Drop, which is the key item that you need to get into the final dungeon.
And Warlock's with the Hurt More spell. Meanwhile, Mr. Slime, slaying a skeleton, finds a rather large swamp.
And you get a little bit of land and then it keeps going.
Yep, so some pretty resource-heavy exploration going on here. But it definitely seems like it opens up. This is probably going to be the only way to go.
Oh man, Xarnax just got a critical hit on a Mel Slime. That's level 7 and almost level 8. with 3, 9, 3, 5. We got magic. And Tracker says sleep.
Yeah, that sleep spell might come in handy. Meanwhile, Mr. Slime running headfirst into an AK. Unfortunately, not able to get away there, so a little bit of unfortunate luck there. He's going to go back to the castle and have to resume his exploration from there.
Yeah, and Xarnax taking a peek into his spell list. Sees sleep, just decides to punch that droll to death. And is just going to take the Death Warp on the Axe Knight.
And that's an interesting move. With 41 agility, you're not exactly what I would call a favorite, but you're pretty close to 50-50 to get away from that Axe Knight there. So that's an interesting choice on Xarnax's side.
Yeah, unfortunately for our runners, I think we are kind of being funneled into that gigantic swamp, so going to have to take some pain to do some more exploration. Meanwhile, Xarnax about to bring the pain with level 8, and it will contain 3 power, 4 agility, 16 health, and 1 magic.
Meanwhile, Mr. Slime is just settling down here, grinding on some plains tiles, so little slower of a grind, but Xarnax finds that there are red dragons here. Manages to get away from it though, so.
Okay, we'll have to see which way Xarnax goes, because I think there's progression both to the east and south. We'll see which way he takes on this little split path, looking like south. Yeah, he's thinking about it because the knight could easily kill him and yep, 29 damage. Gonna try to put him to sleep, but fails. Knights have decent sleep resist.
Yeah, it's definitely not the greatest thing in the world, but that baby breath is a welcome addition to their attack.
Yeah, Knight's one of the higher tier enemies, about the same as a Magic Wyvern. So, finally gets away, and is free to explore some. Not much, but some. Quickly hitting that dead end as MonsieurSlime going after a Spectre, and gets it.
Yeah, that's a nice enemy to find at this stage in the game here. And that knight having a 75% chance of breathing that baby breath is really nice. Yeah, but they do have the heal spell.
In the meantime, Mr. Slime is going to find out that the werewolves have the sleep normal breath combo, and that just takes him out.
Yeah, rather unfortunate there. This Druid Lord, pretty favorable. 58 experience is nothing to scoff at this level, and this is a pretty easy enemy to take down.
Yep, takes it down, just gonna heal up after battle. And is gonna go ahead and validate the seed. Validation. And a little one-tile path allows more exploration. Finds the final dungeon of the game, Charlotte Castle. And finds the finest of the Dragon Lord's enforcers right outside. Squish.
Indeed, that red dragon makes short work of our 69 maximum HP, or 62.
Yep, we like to call them the Fun Police because they have the highest stats of any enemy in the game, so once they show up, it tends to get ugly.
Not to mention them being the hardest enemy to run from other than the Dragon Lord themselves.
So it looks like Xarnax is just going to park it here for a little bit, try to grind up to level 9 as Mr. Slime going up to 8. About to get that nice boost in HP.
Yeah, and it's looking right around in the same area that Xarnax was, so just kind of following in his footsteps at this point. Just a little bit behind on experience, but we still have a lot of race to cover with no key items found.
Yeah, looking like MonsieurSlime, if he goes I messed it up again. I'm sorry. Mr. Slime, gonna head south here, hopefully to find Cantlin and get some gear.
Yeah, that would definitely be a nice find for him at this point. Unfortunately, this rogue scorpion just giving him trouble and dishing out the weak breath time and time and taking him out.
Over on Xarnax's side, ambushed by the knight, that's a fairly common occurrence, and just gets punched in the face for all of his health.
So, death to go around for sure now. Mr. Slime takes a look around to the east, decides to nope out of that swamp over there, but he does head kind of in the direction of Cantlin.
Yeah, it looks like Xarnax is just trying to push forward on this exploration, but stuff keeps happening on the way that stops him. It looks like Xarnax is going to try east now. Okay, so Xarnax over the bridge just has to get out of this swamp and over the next one, and we'll be seeing new territory. And something to note for Mr. Slime, the drones are now capable of running away. Once you have twice the strength of any enemy, they have a 25% chance to just say nope and just run off on you. So unfortunately, that's one monster that can just decide to waste some time. In the meantime, Xarnax finding a town right up here that Mr. Slime missed. What's it going to be? It is going to be Garanham, so no keys to check back there yet, but going to see what's in this shop. And get some clothes.
We do see the large shield there as well, so might be seeing him come back for that.
Oh, Rogue Scorpion's also with the sleep normal breath combination, taking out Mr. Slime.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We hadn't seen the sleep spell out of them, but we saw that breath, so that makes them pretty dangerous. Only 25% on the sleep, though, so pretty lucky to have that.
Yeah, still a very scary enemy because, as you can see there, 90 agility means that they are going to be fairly difficult to run from. And Mr. Slime is finally going to go ahead and head south and finally see Cantlin if nothing stops him.
So something that's interesting about the agility calculations with that particular enemy there is they do have that interesting 90 agility stat, but they are what are referred to as a group 2 or class 2 enemy. So their agility when they calculate whether you run away from them or not is reduced to about 37% of it. So it's just a little over 30 that they use to calculate it out.
In the meantime, I think Xarnax, yep, just saw a cave as Mr. Slime dying to the werewolf, and that's actually going to take him out of Copper Sword money. Unless he can kill a couple of enemies on the way in. Meanwhile, if Xarnax can defeat the Druid Lord here, that will be level 9. Oh, and Mr. Slime goes down again. 3, 14 agility, 13 health, 6 magic. Spell of... looks like sleep and stop spell. Well, no sleep. We had sleep already. But we got stop spell and we got outside and we have... well, how convenient. Outside just in time to find Swamp South.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like this opens up a little bit. So probably see some exploration here, seeing as how we've seen a large chunk of that that first continent there.
And immediately finds a town, so we'll see what's in this town. As soon as the skeleton decides to stop dodging and be defeated. So we have cold, so we have a search spot for south of the fountain up on the north end of the town, and we have interesting shop. But let's see what that search spot will be. It can be Erdrick's armor, it can be Erdrick's token, it can be the fairy flute, or it could be nothing. It is Erdrick's tokens. That's the first key item in order to make the rainbow drop.
So the really nice thing here is that coal isn't really what I would call tucked away. It is behind the swamp cave, but it's not really too far tucked out of the way.
Yeah, Xarnax may have caught him able to run away after taking a sleep and 2 fire breath attacks. Yeah, I was getting ready to say may have caught a break, finding Hull, and then the rogue scorpion gets him, so he gets to get that item, get that information. But he is able to keep running and keep on this island, and he has found another cave. If he can escape the blue dragon, however.
Well, with 59 agility, he is a favorite to run here, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it looks like blue dragon doesn't have any abilities, it's just biting, so eventually he'll get a chance to run off. Eventually, it is rolling high.
Yeah, that's 3 very, very high rolls in a row. 37 defense power, that's at the very top of its range.
But Xarnax finds an opening, flees, and finds a cave. And, going to use a torch, finds the mountain cave.
Meanwhile, Mr. Slime, going toe-to-toe with a warlock, heals up after a brutal hurt more, and manages to get it.
Yeah, and we'll now get in Caitlin, maybe pick up some gear as Xarnax runs into a Star Wyvern trying to put it to sleep, which I believe is about a coin flip. It's just going to heal more and run now, though. Yeah, heal more is the better strategy now. Sleep strategy, you only really pull out at super low agility. But we found gold in the top chest. We'll see what we find here on the bottom floor. Finds a dragon scale, which is no good because Xarnax had already purchased and equipped one over at Cantlin.
And Mr. Slime has picked up a copper sword and a small shield in Cantlin, and is going to equip a dragon scale.
Yep, in the meantime, Xarnax in the second chest down on the second floor of Mountain has found the Fighter's Ring, and we'll equip that for +2 attack power, and finds the 42 attack power package with Erdrick's sword, the best weapon in the game.
Yeah, he is definitely in very, very good position now. Lots of attack power. Things are going to start becoming way easier for him, especially with this heal more spell.
Even better, a key.
No kidding. Wow, so this seed just blew wide open for him. He could take an intentional death here, potentially have a gold grind, get himself some keys, instant access to the magic armor and the silver shield, or even the full plate if he decided to go that route with it. This is just such a good position to be in right now.
Yep, and he can just go back. We'll see what he does here. He's just fighting these wizards. Yeah, he's probably just going to take the death here to the wizard.
Absolutely.
Yep, and so as my partner here, MonsieurSlime, was saying, the way chests work in this game is that due to programming limitations, the game can only track 8 chests as opened. So Xarnax was able to open all 5 in Mountain Cave, and the game will automatically mark off the 3 in the throne room so you can't take them again. And once you reach 8 chests, any chest you take after that will not disappear from the map, and you can just take them over and over again. The main use is to do what we call the gold grind. Just find a gold chest, take it over and over again, and get yourself a lot of money in order to buy high-end gear such as full plate, silver shield, magic armor, and, well, yep, there's some gold, there's the tablet. It's not actually the tablet. It was something.
Looks like a torch. Yeah, and he's gonna go for that gold grind. I don't blame him here on that one. The cave in the bottom of Tantagel can either be the Stones of Sunlight Cave, Garen's Grave, or the Jerk Cave, I think.
Or, I believe, Bonus Cave. The actual vanilla cave that's under there. Or no, did you mention that?
I think I did. I think the other cave that we are
Tablet
missing...
cave.
Tablet, yeah.
Which is funny because he found the tablet. Oops, that's a little bit of mismenu on Xarnax's side, accidentally casting heal.
I've done that more times than I care to count.
And it looks like Xarnax is going to go all the way up to some number. Enough for the magic and full magic silver shield.
22,500.
Enough for some really good armor.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's gonna put him in pretty much prime position for the rest of the game. He's just gotta find caves now. That's essentially where he's at right now.
Well, here's a cave.
Yeah.
What is it? Tablet cave.
Tablet.
No encounters, just one chest to pick up.
And he has the outside spell, so this is a super quick pickup. And indeed, the bonks are real, Math Girl.
And more gold underneath in the tablet cave. So with 3 gold chests, no problem activating the glitch, and is just gonna walk that down to Cantlin if nothing horrible happens. Ooh, here we go. Well,
This is okay because he's got Erdrick's sword and heal more. He's definitely a favorite to win this.
not against heal though. Although he is able to block the spell, so just cast heal more and keep chopping.
And this should be enough. And it is. MonsieurSlime killing the Druid Lords, keeping that experience pretty tight. Just a couple of hundred experience between the two of them. Xarnax definitely having the exploration lead and the experience lead, but all it takes is for a couple of things to go right on MonsieurSlime's side.
Xarnax is going to try to give this Rogue Scorpion a go. Oh, he's going to get put to sleep. This could be bad if the Rogue Scorpion can finish Xarnax off. What do? Runs away.
Yeah, that zone right there is pretty nasty. I've seen Axe Knights, we've seen Knights, and we've seen Rogue Scorpions. All 3 of those enemies in there.
So, Xarnax about to pick up the Silver Shield from the top shop, and I believe a magic armor from the bottom shop, and can also go ahead and pick up the coordinates from the old man down at the south, and those will let him, well, if there are coordinates, he can go pick them up, but that will let him, those numbers will contain either, if he gets them, they will contain either the armor or the flute. And I guess it wasn't a magic armor in play because he just bought the full plate. 24 defense is not bad. Same as the magic armor. The magic armor just has a few more perks.
Yeah, we haven't seen too terribly much of the Hurt More spell. I think the only instance that we saw was from the Warlock.
On the other end, MonsieurSlime finds keys the conventional way right next to Sharlock. Xarnax got sniped before seeing this. MonsieurSlime's found Remeldar. And looking like... 3 south, 24 east, but it's hard to progress east from the start. Gonna have to do a little looping around to get there.
Yeah, but you can get a view and a vantage point from that bridge that's just east there. You can see this mountain range right here, and it'll tell you how many spots are in between. So it's not exactly the easiest count.
It's not that bad. Just have to loop around this little bit of water here. And Lorgon noting that MonsieurSlime finding the vanilla item in Remeldar. And Xarnax seems to be searching, finds the fairy flute. That will put golems to sleep and will not do much else. So with the token and coal and the flute on the overworld, our runners are going to need to find Hawksness in order to find Erdrick's armor.
Yeah, and that's not too terrible because you get a sight of one of the spike tiles. You get to see what's going on there with that, and keep right on moving from there. So not too terrible.
In the meantime, MonsieurSlime finding some spark over Tetris, finding a nice little square block there, and finding a Druid Lord to beat down on. And actually taking the experience lead, although I think we can safely say that Xarnax is firmly in the driver's seat with the massive gear advantage and the keys.
Yeah, this is definitely in his favor right now. But seeing as how Mr. Slime has picked up keys, he now has access to a gold grind as well. He just has to find some way to execute said gold grind, and then they're pretty much right on even footing again. The only thing that needs to go his way is he needs to find that mountain cave, which unfortunately is north and east of his current location.
Yeah, Xarnax able to successfully take down level 10, not exactly the greatest level, but did pick up the repel spell, and Xarnax finds Wimmeldar, so that pretty much evens up that exploration. He's just gonna hop in here, get his vanilla wings, and carry on with life.
So I'm kind of interested as to why Xarnax decided to go this route with it instead of just hitting straight to Garenham, because he knows where that's at.
Yeah, maybe just wants to make sure he didn't leave anything down here. And it looks like it's a dead end here, so just gonna walk it on back. Probably just go ahead and get back to Garenham and see what's down there. As Mr. Slime discovers the bad news that that's about as far as you can go that way.
And taking a death to the Druid Lord, but he'll be able to check out the treasury and tablet if he so desires to get down there.
Yeah, unfortunately, the treasury is a bit barren on key items. Yeah, he's going to confirm the wings, a couple of gold boxes, and... oh, a key refund. That's what it was.
And Xarnax, feeling that he's not quite ready to take on this red dragon, is going to burn a few heal mores while he tries to get away at 62 agility. Of course, he does it on the second attempt. And there's a first attempt.
So yeah, interested to see what Mr. Slime's going to do with 2,000 gold here. In the meantime, Xarnax did indeed go straight back to Garenham, so it's going to be 3 chests plus whatever is beneath Garen.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Slime probably going to pick up a broadsword here. We did see a large shield. I don't think it was in Cantlin, though.
And Xarnax finds a cursed belt, which doesn't exactly do much. A torch. And some more gold. Well, Cursed Belt doesn't do much good for you. It does curse you if you equip it, which means that if you die or try to go back in the castle, the king just kicks you out immediately, as Xarnax finds the Rainbow Drop Cave, currently acting a bit less jerkish than he usually is, because with the token, he'll just tell you a story. But until he gets the Staff of Rain and the Stones of Sunlight, he'll just be a bit of a jerk to him and tell him to go get that stuff. But once he does get it, will be the Rainbow Drop that he gets. And you need that to make a bridge to get into the Stranglord's castle.
Yep, so the key question right here is going to be, where is the grave? We saw that there wasn't too much on the second continent. There was a little branch that led north from it, but I think that led to a rather rapid dead end. But we'll see here very soon.
Yeah, Xarnax just exploring now, trying to find that. I think with the current exploration that we have now, it's confirmed that at least one important item is in the Grave of Garen. And yeah, we still need to find Hawksness in order to get Erdrick's armor.
Yeah, that's definitely true as well, but I believe that both of the items actually have to be in the grave, because we found all 5 treasure chests in the mountain cave. We've searched the treasury, we've searched Tablet Cave. Well, I guess there's still bonus, that would be the other option. But the odds heavily favor the grave having both of them.
Yep, and MonsieurSlime doing the count here. Gotta go a bit more south. It's a couple more south and one to the east, I believe, so not going to find it just yet, but I think one more step south should get it, as Xarnax actually just kills that armor knight. And there you go. MonsieurSlime finding the fairy flute, finding the metal slime, getting hit by its hurt spell, and it runs off on him. Typical.
That's unfortunate, because this experienced lead is really starting to gap out a little bit, with Xarnax able to handle some of these harder enemies.
Yep, and Xarnax looking to go south here, maybe find something. Finds another patch of swamp, finds a golem, and just manages to eventually run away. And we have a split path, unless that's a lake. That's indeed a lake. Look at that lake, it's a lake. It has Hawksness next to it. And we have a cave here. This is either going to be the cave that would hold the Stones of Sunlight in vanilla, also affectionately known as Bonus Cave or Free Stuff Cave, or it's going to be the Grave of Garanham. It is the Grave of Garanham. So 5 chests here, 3 right on the top floor, 2 deep in the grave behind a key door. So Xarnax having that advantage of having keys, able to just go ahead and go for it immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And if both of the key items aren't here on the top floor, he has a little bit of a choice to make. There's 2 chests left in Garen's grave after this, but there is also one chest at large that is somewhere in a cave.
And we have the Stones of Sunlight. And Xarnax is going to drop the Fighter's Ring, which is not a big deal as long as he equipped that before he dropped it. It will still confer its 2 attack power bonus. Also finding the Cursed Belt and I think another herb. And finding level 11 with 2, 0, 5, 10, no spells. I'm sure MTI will respond in kind after I said his favorite number. There it is. 0 agility. He loves it. I mean, it's not a bad time to get 0 agility. 62 is perfectly fine at level 11. In the meantime, MonsieurSlime about to find out a lot of disappointment and the jerk cave.
Yeah, absolutely. But Garen's grave wasn't too far away from Grinham, so I think he'll be okay.
Okay, so the first chest deep in Garen's grave, as soon as Xarnax can deal with some of these enemies, like the Wolf Lord with Hurt More. Uh-oh. Blocked and wrecked.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty low chance of that happening. The Wolf Lord doesn't have too terribly large on the agility stats, so that's pretty surprising to see. Mr. Slime picking up his large shield here in Grinham is going to help out a lot as well. And he is definitely headed in kind of the right direction. This dead end will direct him to head south from here.
Yeah, in the meantime, I wouldn't be too surprised if Xarnax probably makes a beeline back to Hawksness in order to go see what that enemy is with 84 health and heal more and 77 with his stats in general, he can pretty much beat anything.
Yeah, he's definitely a favorite to take down anything. The only concern there is resources and what he has to work with when he gets over there.
Yeah, especially if this red dragon manages to stick a move on him and makes him waste even more heal more.
Yeah, and there's also armored knights in the zone that's headed down towards Hawksness. So it's a question of how much resources you have as to what you're going to be able to handle. Mr. Slime finding the swamp cave. Hopefully we'll head over to the other side here. We'll see though.
Yeah, if Mr. Slime does so, it will lead to Mountain Cave, which had Erdrick's sword. However, suffering a little bit at the hands of this red dragon, doesn't have the defensive power that Xarnax has, so trying to run away.
Yeah, just not in the cards for him. Fails a few run attempts and gets
dies.
wrecked.
And dies to exact damage. My favorite kind of death. Not really, but whatever.
You gotta see the good in everything, right?
It looks like Mr. Slime's just going to do what we call a ghetto grind, just leave a place with a bunch of chests, go back in and retake the chests over and over again. Looking like going to be picking up a full plate here, most likely, to go with his large shield.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we're going to see him go all the way to silver shield money, because that would be time consuming. But this magic key does make it very enticing.
Yeah, we'll see what Mr. Slime decides to do now. And yep, going to be the full plate from Caitlin. In the meantime, Xarnax just keeps seeing red dragon after red dragons. Actually, if Xarnax can defeat this red dragon, it will be good for level 12.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing that we're still really looking for at this point is stats. Hurt more would be nice, but definitely not required.
Yeah, looking at the stats, the strength's lagging a little bit, but the other stats aren't too horrible. You can see level 12 with 4 power, 2 agility, 1 health, 5 magic, no spells.
Yeah, not really much to write home about there. Yeah, as pointed out in chat, definitely not a sub-hour seed, but we are on pretty good pace for an hour and a half. It looks like Xarnax is settling into a grind to potentially pick up more of those red dragons.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit interested about this because he knows where Erdrick's armor is at since he's seen Hawk's Nest. He just has to go over there, and he knows that will contain the armor, so I guess he just wants to maybe build up to level 13, try to pick up some more stats to make running from the Fun Police easier, because that is a bit of a trek, but... Well, yeah, he has opened up about 1,500 experience worth of a lead on MonsieurSlime, and currently has the exploration advantage, so really this isn't the worst play, just kind of cement your position and then get going.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with this play at all. The only thing that he could be doing would be trying to make it over to Hawk's Nest at the same time as doing this, because we did see Armored Knights on the way over there. You're still gaining experiences exploring, but this 255 experience, that's pretty much a guarantee with the Repel spell up, is a pretty good play on his part.
Looks like MonsieurSlime's about to get over to... Yep, over to Swamp. Gonna see that Swamp South. Should immediately cast outside and does so. And for too long we'll have the Mountain Cave with the 42 attack power package of Edric's Sword and Fighter's Ring.
He'll also find coal, which is what contains the token for our runners.
Oh right, I forgot that. Yeah, so this is very important to help get those key items in his hand. Or whatever a slime would have. So yeah, we're pretty much looking for the harp at this point, and we still have the 2 chests in Deep Grave, and the 1 chest over in the Stones of Sunlight Cave, wherever it may be. Those are our last 3 chests. And this could be real bad for MonsieurSlime if nope gets away.
Yeah, so there's only going to be 3 chests in total that the harp can possibly be contained. So we know the locations. We've narrowed down the locations with what chests are left as to where it can be. and by playing the odds, we get to play a 2 versus 1. So, still needing the armor from Hawksness, but Hawksness having a prime location right next to the grave, I imagine that Xarnax is making this play here to pick up some more stats, fight the boss in Hawksness, and then go dive deep grave just to kind of take care of all of his errands at once.
And Mr. Slime is successfully going to make it to the 42 attack power package. And it's going to walk back, walk all... Yeah, it took the north chest first, so finding the dragon skill there, and then we'll head around to find the loose magic key. And I believe now Mr. Slime gets a little worried because... Oh geez, this cave was big with the key and the Erdrick sword. Could my opponent have gotten here first? And as it turns out, yes he did. And Mr. Slime just gets slept and wrecked by a werewolf. 11, 12, 2, and 1. And the spell of conventional sleep. I mean, conventional hurt. But really good stat gains. Certainly able to go do stuff now, but Xarnax is going to keep grinding.
Yeah, I think that he's looking to finish up his grind here instead of relying on the spike tile. It's always kind of an interesting play. I mean, he's not taking too many steps between encounters, but that is lost time for sure.
Yeah, I think Mr. Slime feels behind because he did not go for the gold grind. He just went out, so looking like Large Shield's going to be the top end for him this seed.
Well, we haven't really seen him checking out too many shops. Granted, he doesn't need a ton of shops, but he hasn't really checked out a lot of the shops, so he may not have seen the Silver Shield.
He would have if he picked up that full plate because they were occupying the same shop at the top of Cantlin. In the meantime, Xarnax is going to recharge, and we'll see if he decides to move out or if he's going to just keep grinding. Yeah, he's moving out, but not in the direction he needs to go.
Yeah, southwest of the grave somewhere is going to be where the Stones of Sunlight Cave is. So we know the rough location of where everything else is going to be at.
Yeah, looking like Xarnax just needs to kind of jog his memory a little bit as to where everything is. Yeah, I think Xarnax's gonna go through here, realize this is not the cave he wants, and then just head back out. No Radiant yet. Okay, so he is going through, but this is just gonna lead to stuff that he's already seen.
Yeah, this is a classic case of forgetting where things are, I think. Nothing really over here that's going to serve him well except for a spike tile.
Could be what he's going for. He's walking down a bunch now. Gonna heal. Gonna check the spike tile. It is the Stone Man. And mismenuing a hurt. Who put that hurt spell there?
Yeah, Xarnax looking at some really, really good defense power right now. Hopefully, he can pull through. And when he pulls out that Erdrick's armor, his defense power is going to be in the green. So we're looking pretty good on agility and defense. MP's a little low. HP's got a little ways to go, and strength has quite a ways to go.
In the meantime, I don't think Mr. Slime went far enough east, so currently missing out on that little pack of the Garen's Grave and Hawksness, although I think walking east now will get him there, assuming he survives the werewolf. Oh, that's not looking good. Another breath attack. Still asleep, slept and wrecked this far out is not good.
Yeah, at this point, he's gotta feel like he's behind right now.
Yeah, it looks like indeed Xarnax was just poking that spike towel. Not interested too much in the snowman, so just gonna head back out and get back to Hawksness and see what's there.
I think he's heading back for Grinham to get that enticing refill.
That is just gonna top off the level with a couple of red dragons and then move on. Yeah, if Xarnax can defeat this red dragon, it will be enough for level 14 and like I believe a 3,500 experience lead if he can defeat the red dragon here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's I hate to say it this early on, but this is looking to be Xarnax's race to lose.
Well, not able to defeat the red dragon as Mr. Slime takes out the Demon Knight to go to level 11, but it's not really the biggest deal in the world. And it looks like Mr. Slime's actually about to hit that pack of towns and caves. Just has to walk west and a bit north from here and find Hawksness and the Grave of Garen. And it'll be interesting to see here which he elects to do first. Because Xarnax saw Hawksness noped out and went to do Grave. We'll see if Mr. Slime decides to just go ahead and kill Hawksness first. Yeah, right in the corner of his eye, there it is, Hawksness. And also electing to leave.
Yeah, that 32 MP is a little low to be trying to take on anything of consequence here. Meanwhile, Xarnax picking up level 14 here. 1 power, 1 speed, 9 hit points, 5 magic. He does pick up a new spell though. Looks like he got Radiant. and just take this opportunity while everybody's still kind of searching and fighting things to let you know that once again this is the last race of the week 3 matchups of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Standard Tournament. The draws will be taking place here immediately after this race, as far as I know. And so we will know the week 4 matchups here soon. And looking into the week 4 matchups, Smashy, you have a 3-0 record, right?
I still do, unless something weird has happened, as Xarnax actually finds the bonus cave. Sneaky little thing, I think, north of the cluster. And it's fairy water. So deep grave is required in order to find the silver harp. The question is in that one chest kind of off on its own, or is it in vanilla?
I think the evil part of all of us is hoping for vanilla harp in the grave, but Xarnax going to take out Hawksness first, which does indeed have a red dragon. That's going to pose a little bit of a problem for MonsieurSlime with that lower defense power. But Xarnax shouldn't have too much of an issue, and then string this straight into a grave dive.
Into a grave redive. He got sniped right before the 4th chest by failing to run from the Wolf Lord that was casting Hurtmore. And down goes the red dragon. And that will be Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game.
So yeah, in a great spot with 88 defense now. He's going to be defense breaking quite a few things, even up to, I think it's 4 enemies in Sherlock, is that right? Green Dragon, Wizard, Werewolf, and Star Wyvern. Yeah, so 4 of them.
Up to the Green Dragon is in a state called Defense Broken, which once your defensive power is equal to or above an enemy's strength, the damage formula changes. Usually it's something like their strength minus half your defensive power, and then cut that in half for maximum, cut that in a quarter for minimum. Once you defense break an enemy, it changes to their strength plus 4, and then you divide that number by 6, and it's 0 to whatever that number is. So that just reduces their damage by a lot, so pretty good state to get enemies in. Not really doing much to the fire spamming werewolf, but if there's he runs into a green dragon that's bitey, it's going to be a whole lot less bitey.
MonsieurSlime making his play for Hawksness here. Looking to pick up his armor. He's got to know that it's here.
Yeah, and MonsieurSlime has the knowledge now that there is a nice town just south of here to heal up on, so I imagine once MonsieurSlime picks up the stuff in Garen's grave, it will just be outside, grind up, and then clean up.
Yeah, but this is going to be a pretty efficient grind with Breckenary just to the south here. That's gonna help out with some experience grinding here. This Red Dragon's not too terrible having a vanilla AI for fight. The only thing that they don't have from the vanilla is sleep, which our runners are probably pretty happy to see.
Yeah, the red dragons in vanilla, their AI there is to cast 25% of the time they'll do sleep, 25% a normal breath attack, and if they go through both of those without activating them, they'll just bite you for about 1 billion damage.
Oh wow, they have breath in the vanilla version? I did not know that.
Like I said, 25%, but they do have it.
And Mr. Slime picking up his armor is going to get his regenerative properties, and I assume he'll be checking out the bottom of the grave here in momentary fashion. He's got to feel like he's behind at this point. We're an hour and 15 into the seed, only level 11. That's a pretty rough spot to be in. To answer the... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Spoke's asking which breath it is. In vanilla, only Dragonlord 2 has Dragonlord breath. That's why it's called Dragonlord breath.
Yeah, I believe that blue dragons have the baby breath of vanilla too, as well. But Xarnax having a little bit of an issue with some of the enemies down here in the grave, just recovering up from the red state of HP. So, this grave is a little bit of a trek here.
Yeah, some of the mid-tier monsters showing up with abilities, trying to put a dent here in Xarnax, but Xarnax able to fight through with his 110 attack power, just one-shot that enemy, and find some magic keys. So, your wish has been granted. It is all the way down, Harp in its vanilla spot, and once that's attained, you just cast Return, head a bit northwest to find and trade in for these half of rain, and then head back to Garenham to get the rainbow drop. As chat's mentioning, this also, by process of elimination, puts the Death Necklace in Charlock somewhere. Death Necklace will, when equipped, curse you, take 25% of your maximum HP, but give you a 10 attack power, which can really help out if you get into a tight situation stat-wise for fighting the Dragon Lord. And let's make it official. Harp for Xarnax. And casting outside.
The Heart Cave just northwest of Tantagel Castle. It's been a long time since he's seen that, though, so we'll see if he remembers where that is.
Yeah, does not have return, so would have to throw his only set of wings to head back, but is going to see Breckenary. So yeah, what might happen here is he might just go ahead and do his grind right now, because, well, he doesn't have return. He actually can't go back without using his last set of wings.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. We'll probably see him try to pick up some red dragons here in Hawksness, just to get his stats solidified for the Dragon Lord fight here. This is a pretty quick and efficient grind, and Breckenary being right nearby is pretty perfect.
And it's pretty convenient, but it's just going to take this one red dragon to hit level 15. And that's mostly come down to just doing a bit of a mid-game grind, and then there was plenty of high-experienced monsters on the overworld that, with his great stats, he could take out. And yep, here comes level 15. Next level with 8 power, 2 agility, 15 health, and some magic. No spells, so level 16 required for both return and hurt more, and with our current stats, we're pretty much required for Dragon Lord stats anyway, so, well, we're going to see level 16, and he'll be fine on the return and hurt more fronts in that way.
Yeah, absolutely, and the MP at 102 is actually really good as well. That puts us at 12 heal millars, almost 13. So as long as we don't get an empty eye level here, we should see a Dragon Lord fight with 13 heal mores.
Yeah, looking at the current attack power, 118. Could be seeing that on the next level if it's a really good strength gain. Could be seeing it level 17. More than likely going to be the low if it's not 16. So yeah, Mr. Slime about to pick up the silver harp, so that will be his grind and go, and probably just gonna cast outside. We'll see if he decides to go join Xarnax. Oh no, he's gonna go ahead and clean up first, so he's gonna throw the wings, head back, do all the cleanup, and then we'll see where he grinds.
Yeah, so things a little quiet over here. We gotta just go into this grind and go mode, pulling up the stats on the red dragons. 15 out of 16 for all of the resistances. Not that we're really concerned about them having magic. Very, very just attack, heal more type of scenario here. Meanwhile, Mr. Slime, the first to pick up the rainbow drop here.
Yeah, first to pick up the rainbow drop, but unfortunately, he now suffering from a 6,000 point experience deficit, so has quite the bit of grinding to do to catch up to Xarnax, who is just this one red dragon away from the next level.
Yeah, and with some decent gains, level 16 could be it for our runners.
And we're gonna see it right now. Level 16. Next level with 3 power, 1 agility, 2 health, 1 magic, and the spells of Return and Hurt More, which Hurt More's not really doing much. And the strength really didn't do much either. Only 3 strength is not going to be enough. We're going to see level 17 as soon as Xarnax goes and takes a quick pit stop at Breckenary.
Also, answering a question in chat, Swamped Spike Tile was a stone man there. Thank you for pointing that out for us, Tilo, now that I'm reading over it. But yeah, so the red dragon's going to be a much more efficient grind here for these runners.
In the meantime, the other stats are looking quite nice. We got plenty of health, plenty of MP. We actually have enough defensive power to defense break Dragon Lord 1, so on the off chance that his script reaches his attack command, it's not going to do much damage. And, well, just looking for that last little bit of strength to top us off, and we will get going, hopefully to finish this seed off and get the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And Xarnax continuing his grind here. Meanwhile, Mr. Slime headed down towards the direction of Charlotte Castle, I believe. So we'll probably be seeing that here before too long.
Yeah, kind of interesting here. I don't know if Mr. Slime just doesn't like the Red Dragon grind. You do have a town right next to Sharlock, so it's fairly easy to recover after grinding, but we're gonna see what he does here.
I do like the Sherlock play because he can get some information on what's in Sherlock to know exactly what he's going to need to expect. But the big thing here is that Xarnax, with an experience lead already, is taking an encounter every other step of the way. And so he's just going to be getting more encounters. And at 255 experience, I don't think that Mr. Slime is going to be able to bridge this experience gap here.
Yeah, Xarnax, I believe, has ripped it open to... getting ready to rip it open to over 7,000 experience, so... yeah, this is getting well within Xarnax's control at now.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because Mr. Slime, being a new player, he has performed pretty admirably, I would say, so far. Seeing as how this is a 1-in-1 matchup, seen some very brilliant play from him, some risky play, but at the same time, he's just been performing pretty well, making some very critical decisions, things of that nature, and so I'm very impressed and very happy to see him taking a reasonably decent spot in the tournament so far.
Yeah, Mr. Slime not doing too badly, it's just Xarnax has pretty much been knocking it out of the park. Considering that you had to do that big, fairly noble swamp walk to really get anywhere in the seed. Xarnax just taking care of business, only 2 kills away from level 17, and we'll see if that's good enough.
I think either way, we'll probably see Xarnax maybe finish out a little bit of a grind if 17 isn't enough, and then he'll just grind the rest of the way down. Seeing as how he's going to be defense breaking for the enemies in Sherlock Castle, that is a very good move. And if he gets, 8 more defense, he'll be defense breaking 6 of them.
Yeah, and Mr. Slime finding some armor knights on the top floor of Sharlock, so one pair of the terrible duo showing up already.
Yeah, and to kind of mention what ETAP is talking about here in chat, Xarnax did pick up a very, very early gold grind. He found Mountain Cave. I want to say that was probably about 25 or 30 minutes into the seed. And there was a key at the bottom, so he just had direct access to a gold grind, which then immediately led him to the silver shield and the full plate. And he already had Erdrick's sword in tow, so he was equipment set up pretty much from the half-hour point of the seed.
Yeah, I think the key thing that kind of broke the seed open was Xarnax getting that mountain cave, picking up Erdrick's sword super early in what turned out to be a level 16 Hurtmore, and getting that key to just get himself geared up. And when you have a level 16 Hurtmore, if you can pick up big gear early, you will kill it. In the meantime, I think Xarnax is ready to kill it. With 10 more attack power and 10 more MP, that just got him up to, I want to say, 14 heal more. And got himself...
Yeah, he is at 14 heal mores at his max stats, and he also has enough attack power to bridge that attack premise of where we want to be. We're looking at 15 attacks on average right now, but that's definitely doable at this HP.
Yeah, the HP also really good for getting double attacks, so Xarnax is probably just gonna top off, head on in the Sharlock, and finish out this game.
Yeah, with the 83 agility, he'll be able to run away from most things as well pretty easily. The only problem is that a failed dive of Sherlock is going to be very, very costly in this seed.
Yeah, it is quite the trek back, so... And we know that armored knights are inhabiting the top floor, so if you can't get away from them, they'll start chopping away at your health as Xarnax is going to pick up the rainbow drop, and will soon be on his way. But other than that, looking like the Star Wyvern here is going to be defense broken, so not a big deal.
Yeah, Star Wyvern and Green Dragon's not going to be an issue for Xarnax on the top floor there. The Armor Knights might give him a little bit of trouble, but it shouldn't be too terrible with their agility points of only 86. So Lorgon, the regular Druid had Sleep and Hurt more in this seed. It took out MonsieurSlime very early, but that's true. The werewolf is the only thing in Sherlock that we have seen with the spell of sleep.
Yeah, I think werewolves having fire breath as well is going to deal a bit more damage than their attacks when their defense broken, but still not that threatening. More annoying than anything. I think with what we've seen so far, there's not really much that's going to trip up our runners. As far as just instantly killing them, it's just, are the zones going to have so much fun policing them that they just get worn down?
Yeah, that's gonna be the big thing that's gonna come into play here, is how many speed bumps are along the road.
Okay, so as Xarnax begins his dive, I just want to go ahead and say that at the conclusion of this race, we will go ahead and have the draw for Week 4 right here on Randomania 3. High Spirits will be joining us to kind of facilitate that, so stick around if you want to see who's going to be trying to beat each other up to gain position as we get towards the end of the Swiss rounds.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see who everybody is matched up with. I had a match versus the Alan Hafley on Friday morning. That went fairly well, so I'm still in it, and looking forward to who my opponent's going to be.
And it looks like Xarnax is going to make it through the first zone without too much incident. Sherlock divided into 3 enemy zones. The first 2 floors are their own zone. The next 3 floors are their own zone, and then the final 3 floors, including the basement, are also their own zone. And Red Dragon's on the second zone.
Yeah, that's the first enemy that we've seen in these zones, but these floors are relatively short, so we may not have too much of an issue here, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're seeing Xarnax having an issue right now with one. It's blocked him, I think, 3 times, 4 times. And that should be a heal more. Yep, gonna be a heal more gone right there. Off the quadruple run fail, the penta run fail. 6 run fails. This is getting ugly. Xarnax with A3 agility is not that far off. It's only about 40% chance to run, and just kept failing and failing. I think it cost him 2 heal more.
Yeah,
oh
that's
dear.
Rough.
This middle zone is just being brutal. Because I think Xarnax has ran to like 3 or 4 straight Red Dragons, and now getting ambushed and slept and taken some damage from the werewolf.
Yeah, definitely a little concerning here right now with the way that things are kind of falling into place. It's going to depend upon what's on the spike tile as to whether or not Xarnax is still going to be a good favorite to fight the Dragon Lord.
Okay, so bottom floor right now we've seen the wizard and the blue dragon, two enemies that are easier to run from. Especially the wizard, it's probably, if not the easiest, one of the easiest enemies to run from, along with the werewolf, so... And Star Wyvern right there with the blue dragon, but overall, nothing too bad so far. Except for the fact that Xarnax is starting to get swamped. I think just in that little pathway, he got 4 encounters going through what I like to call the heart. Because it kind of looks like a heart there.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're going to see what's on this spike tile. It is a golem, so we're going to see some fairy flute strat come out here just to conserve some resources here. He hasn't had to burn any herbs, so it's not too bad if he has to take 1 or 2 attacks, but we definitely want to see this golem stay asleep for a couple of turns here.
Yeah, stay asleep for 3 turns, so I think this next swing will do it. Just got punched. If the golem has anything nasty, we shall never know. At least until MonsieurSlime gets down there, if he elects to continue on. Make sure to hold B so you are declared a fool, and we will begin the Dragon Lord fight.
And an opening hurt more, that's definitely not something that you really want to see. But he rolled lower HP, so there is a chance for a double here. We'll see how it goes, though.
Well,
and
no
the
longer.
Back attack.
Back attack, and this might get a little ugly now. Starting out with 11 damage. Still has 12 heal more in the bag, so we'll see how this goes. Goes up to 23. 33, I believe that was a double. Yeah, and a safe double as well. 46. Not risking it on 44.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much of a need to. Seeing that 9 minimum roll there is not favorable, seeing as how we have to roll right around average, but he's gotten a couple above average, so I think we're still okay here.
Well, he's at 63 right now, lowing a bit low again. Bet he's going to get a nice roll there to bring him up to 78. Oh, bad roll there. 86. Yeah, this is starting to get dicey in a hurry. 86 becomes 101 with the 15 maximum. And I think that was a double for 114. So yeah, he is getting the doubles. I think he just got... Well, 114 becomes 112. I don't know if he got the double there or not. 112, 119 getting a minimum roll. This is now really starting to get dicey. He's getting the doubles, but he's getting low rolls. 119, 130. Well, okay, 129. Okay, I messed up. So 140, 153, next attack should do it. And yeah, he's got this in the bag. He still has a heal more. 12 damage, that covers the entire range of the Dragon Lord's HP. Down goes the Dragon Lord. Xarnax is going to go up to 2-1. Just going to cast return, head up, talk to the king, have a little chat, and he will be your winner.
Yeah, get out your GGs for the winner of our last race of this week, Xarnax42. And Xarnax has finished with an official SRL time of 139.39. So GG to him.
In the meantime, Mr. Slime has just recently went up to 15, so still needing about 4,000 more experience to get done here. We'll see if he decides what he does at level 16, because we know level 16 is not quite going to be enough. You're going to have to go to 17 to pick up that 10 strength. And then we'll see if he decides to tough it out, or if he decides just go ahead and call it.
It looks like he's going to continue on. Yeah, I can't really say that I blame him. After a seed like this, where so many things just haven't gone your way, seeing it through to the end is definitely very admirable.
Still waiting to see if Xarnax is going to do an interview or not. And just as a reminder, after whatever happens here, once the race is complete, we're going to go ahead and roll next week. So, not that long until we're going to see who's facing each other.
Yeah, absolutely. We have definitely had a lot of exciting races this week. The race that took place on Randomizer 2 just before this one made second place for tournament history. According to Game Boy F9, it was about 17 seconds behind the fastest tournament seed ever.
Yeah, we've had some big variances in the seats today. I was actually commentating the first race of today, and it turned out that race and the time it took to finish it, the race that started an hour later started and completed before the winner of the first race got done. So, yeah, that was quite the seed earlier on, as I believe I just heard a ding. Is that a Xarnax?
I suppose you could call me that.
GG to you, Xarnax. How are you feeling about the seed?
Whew. Thank you. I was definitely concerned. There were a couple nasty things that happened that made me not feel great about my chances. But there were
Yeah,
also a couple things that happened very early that that kind of balanced that out. I had a couple early, timely, excellent moves.
yeah, the Scorpion and then the Metal Slime earlier on, but I kind of want to focus in on that Wolf Lord that got you
Oof.
in Deep Grave. That was, I think, when you say you got scared, I think that was it right there, because that forced a second dive.
Yeah, that was. I was at that point. I forgot. I had completely forgotten. I hadn't found the bonus cave, so I was. I knew in my mind. I was 100% sure that the harp was in the basement, and so I felt like I knew where everything was, and then it was just a matter of what order I wanted to do it in. Um, I I'm sure you couldn't tell. You might have been wondering why I didn't like it probably looked a little funny when I did some grinding and then went to Swamp Cave to check the swamp tile, um, the spike tile. I couldn't remember exactly where the Swamp Cave was, and I didn't like my odds where I was at the time of going all the way down to Hawksmith. That was a long walk, and there were a lot of things, a lot of nasty enemies in the way, and I wanted to fight them rather than try and run. And the armor wasn't a big enough priority to pass up as much experience as was available on the walk to it. So the I was considering grinding the spike tile and swamp, but I couldn't remember exactly where it was. And even just walking around Garenham looking for it, I was getting red dragons and armored knights, and that was it. So I figured I'll stay here a couple levels at least, and maybe I'll get hurt more.
As it turns out, hurt more level 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually kind of how you got ahead, because you were able to find the mountain cave first, and that just set you up for Erdrick's sword and then the gold grind into maximum viable defense. And from there, you were just able to take control of the experience and exploration.
Mm. Yeah, I was so excited when I found that key in Mountain Cave, and then deflated when I realized that I had died a few steps with Rimildar a few steps off my screen earlier. So that neutralized the key advantage that I thought I had.
Yeah, he ended up finding Remolder quite a bit after you had picked up the key in the mountain cave, though. So it definitely gave you the advantage. You also had the gold grind readily available to you, which put you in pretty prime position for taking on the harder enemies. With Hurtmore being locked behind 16, we just saw that experience advantage just continue to grow over time. I think at one point it was almost a five or 6,000 experience difference between
Oh
the two of
wow.
you.
And Mr. Slime going up to 16, seeing the stats, goes ahead and taps out, so not going to go to 17, just gonna call it here. Good effort from him anyways. He was having some trouble early on trying to figure out how to get some experience to explore with. And just came up short today. Mr. Slime saying in IRC, he thinks he smells like KFC after being burnt so often. Yeah, there was quite a bit of normal breath flying about early on.
So currently, we're just waiting for responses whether Mr. Slime would like a interview or not. The only other question that I really have for you, Xarnax, is that you elected not to pick up the magic armor. I know that it was over in Garinham. I didn't see if it was in Cantillon. So what was the thought process there behind not picking up the magic?
I couldn't remember where I had seen it. I knew I had seen it, but I felt like it was too long of a walk and pretty high risk of death. I had the money and I had full plate right in front of me. The advantage wasn't enough for me to waste any time looking for it. In my mind.
That's fair enough. It was pretty quick walk to Cantlin, and Full Plague confers the same defensive power, so I guess just not wanting to risk it just for slight regen and hurt more resist when the most skills you're seeing are fire breath attacks.
Yeah, I think, and yeah, at that point we were still pretty low in HP, and um, I don't think I had any armor yet. Maybe the leather armor, the clothes. I actually think it was the clothes, So yeah, getting the defense boost from the full plate was hugely important, and gambling for the extra benefits from the flame armor on the off chance that I ran into something that killed me on the way just wasn't worth it.
Okay, well that's good to know. And we have I just called you Mr. Slime because I was butchering what is it? Monsieur Slime?
Oh, Mister's just fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was kind of butchering that at the start, and everybody's just like, just say Mister.
Yeah, I feel like I should be Mr. Red Dragon after this, but I don't think there's a avatar that goes along with that here.
Yeah, definitely not. You definitely saw quite a few of those on your way through things. The other one that was giving you quite a bit of trouble was the Rogue Scorpion with the combination of sleep and baby breath as well. That was definitely a roadblock in a couple of junctures for you.
Yeah, those guys weren't too pleasant to me either. And then the other thing, and I don't think this would have mattered in terms of a win or loss, but I set up the gold grind and then ditched the castle and then sat there in disbelief of what I've just done to myself.
Oh no!
Yeah, at that point, I was kind of thinking that because it was an hour in that you found the mountain cave and saw that Erdrick sword, I was thinking at that point that you were just feeling so behind. You already had the large hill. You just decided you had to go. That's what I was thinking. I didn't realize you had done that. I thought you were just trying to get out there and just kind of rushing, which that may have been what happened. You were trying to rush along and you just kind of forgot.
I certainly felt behind because it seemed like anytime I made even just a little bit of progress on the on the map, the red dragon popped in and said no thank.
Yeah, absolutely, and they were definitely crawling all over the place. And another thing that was kind of interesting to me was that you chose to grind in Sharlock instead of grinding in Hawksness. That red dragon was going to be dealing a lot of damage to you, so that was going to be a lot of heal mooring that you needed to do. But with Breckenary being a few steps away, that guaranteed encounter I think would have served you a little bit better, seeing as how you had you had armored knights on the top floor of Sharlock, so those were slowing you down pretty much as a red dragon would have.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. And I'll be honest, I kind of forgot Breckenary was sitting right next to it and it was a situation where I just went there because honestly I wanted to make sure I remembered where Sharlock was because it felt like it'd been a while since I'd gone that direction. And when I was there, I just checked the first floor. I'm like, you know what, this is probably okay with the town right there,
It's kind
and
of
just decided to go there.
it's kind of funny. I had done a lot of my grinding near Garenham. I died in Garen's grave, and I dove that before I tried Hawksness because I was fairly low on resources. And um, but when I dove into the grave, I hadn't seen Breckenary yet. So when I got back to Hawksness, I had all the knowledge I needed for the game, but I also knew that I hadn't seen Breckenary. I am really, really glad that I looked for it because I had a feeling it might be nearby, and that was the only way I was going to grind at Hawksness if there was an inn nearby.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. For everyone that was watching, was that pretty much the difference? Was the grind speed, or was there? I felt way behind the whole time just because I felt like I didn't make any progress for like the first hour. But
I think most of it was you just kind of kept getting picked off by um, enemies while your opponent was able to get the advantage, and then at the end, I don't think you were gonna make it back anyways because by the time you hit grind and go, I think Xarnax had already opened it up to something like a 5,000 experience lead. But I think I think the difference in the grind spot also kind of opened that up a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too is that Xarnax had found Erdrick's sword almost a good half an hour before you had. So a lot of the enemies that you were dying to, he was actually able to take on and actually kill the entire time that you were still searching for it. So that was a huge advantage his way, because it had both Erdrick's sword and the fighter's ring there, which is just a huge advantage to him.
Yeah, I think that Mountain Cave pretty much just set Xarnax on the path to victory, because you had the 42 AP package into the gold grind for all the defense you could ever want, so he was a well-geared dragon warrior, just ready to take out anything, and, well, take out everything he did.
Yeah, absolutely. You did end up picking up the full plate armor, which the Xarnax did as well. You picked up the large shield. The only difference there is that he had the silver shield, which obviously aided in grinding on those red dragons. But overall, I would say that you played a very solid race. It was a very frustrating seed, especially with how much Baby Breath was running around at the start. You had a few enemies that were giving you troubles with exploration, that kind of thing, and that's always a frustrating situation to be in.
Well, thanks for that. It ended up being, just as always, I think, kind of like trying to find that balance between exploration and just grinding. And it seemed like every time I felt like I was getting behind. I'm like 30 minutes in, 45 minutes in, I need to go find some stuff. And every time I just felt like, yeah, red dragons, no thank you. And but that's part of it. Hats off to Xarnax, GG's, one of the best at this, and it was still a fun race, and in the end, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, absolutely, and we definitely appreciate putting on the race. You guys coming out and exhibiting your skills is always something that's a treat for myself. So right after this, we are going to be doing the draws for the next week. So we'll probably wrap up here. Do either of you have any final thoughts for the seed?
Just a thanks as always to everyone coming together to help get all these races restreamed. And GG, MonsieurSlime. It's that was a slog of a seed.
Yep. Thanks, Xarnax, and GG to you as well, and thanks to everyone who not only helped behind the scenes to put this one together, but everything throughout the week. It's a tough show to put on, and there's a strong community here, and that's great. And if anyone's watching that hasn't played this before, I encourage to hop in. It feels like it's a pretty approachable game. If you watch it for a little bit and then start playing it a little bit on the side, it's fun and not too difficult to get into.
Yeah, something I want to go ahead and say. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Up2NG for tracking, Math Girl for restreaming, and the Amused Miniature for commentating with me, and of course our runners, MonsieurSlime and Xarnax. Let's give them all some hype as we go, as with all those words taken care of. We are going to go ahead and get I believe we're going to go ahead and get the draw underway. I see a High Spirits in here.
Hi.
Look at that.
Hey, I don't get to make jokes about my name that often, okay?
And just like that, with a little bit of whee! Oh, that was terrible.
But yeah, so we're going to draw the Week 4 matchups. We have Math Girl, as you can see, up on the screen right now, as first off displaying the 3-0 participants, all 8 of them. And I'm not sure how many times she's rolling. What are you rolling, 9 times? Because that was the last number or not? I'm not sure exactly. 9 times. So she's going to randomize it 9 times. Whatever comes up will be the matchups. And I'm going to record them, and I'll let our current commentators talk about the matches if they would like. And we'll go through the each record as we go along.
Well, we see 8 names here. We got some Yakimus Wedge. We got that Wee guy. Well, now they're randomized. The Wee guy's at the top, and the Wee guy's still at the top. I'm just going to let Math Girl roll them until we get to our races.
Yeah, absolutely. There is some very, very top play people here. There are some of us, some of those runners have been here since the beginning. And we have some names that have only been with it for a year, maybe 2 years. So this is a good mix of mix-ups. First of all, Smashy and Mr. Holmes on the first setup. I have to say that I'm really excited for this race. Smashy, you've done a fantastic job with climbing your way up the SRL reader board. Your skill is just unparalleled. Mr. Holmes, being the math guy, is definitely going to be a matchup for the books.
I'm gonna have to get some revenge on him because he beat me twice in the league. I actually had to fight him twice in the league and he beat me both times, so I'm gonna have to try to beat him up now. But anyways, after that we got Ryguy and Lorgon going after it. Ryguy coming in, I think his first tournament was that league and just came in and was taking names there. And Lorgon's been a mainstay, so that ought to be a really good matchup. Edgeworth and Jackamus facing off against each other, and Jay Coper and High Spirits. All these are going to be some very fun matches.
Fun fact: last year's tournament, Jay Coper is the one who knocked me.
All right, so we got a couple of revenge matches here. The one that I'm probably most excited about is Jay Coper versus High Spirits, just because High Spirits was the league winner. Jay Coper knocking him out of last tournament. That's going to be a very, very interesting rematch to see.
I think we actually have. Not only do we have that matchup, we actually have both of the commentators for that matchup and the group of 3-0s, because it was me and Jackamus commentating that in a very silly way.
Oh, cool. So that's the 3-0 matchups. Coming up next will be the 2-1 matchups, but the new 2-1 and the 1-2 matchups can have possible rematches. So after all of them are rolled all 9 times, I'm going to double check to make sure that there is no rematches, and then we will go with those matchups. If there is a rematch, then we'll just have her roll one more time until we no longer get any rematches.
Yeah, looking at the list, it looks like 8 potential situations for a rematch. So we'll see what happens. And even down here at 2-1, you can see some big names. You see Nestcard, you see Sparkover, you see Angel FM, who just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, we also
Just
see
take some
Game Boy
names.
F9 on here
Yeah,
too.
Game Boy F9. Will Wagner, the runner-up from the league. He was 2-0 coming into this week, and just proving that he was not a fluke.
All right, if we could just get the top. There we go. All right, so Melee Wizard versus Ali Gerbrap.
Give me a second to verify that there are no there's no rematches here.
It looks like everything's good to me. Looked a little bit close with Ursine and...
Yeah, it was very close, but there is no rematches, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so Melee Wizard and Algebra are going to be your first race. Game Boy F9 versus Silverfire. Ooh, that looks like a pretty nice one for the third one, Bobsky and Lavkin. And then you have Nestcard versus Demarine. Braxis is going to take on Angel FM. Up 2NG versus Ferran Burgundy should be a nice one. Janice versus Couch23. Deerwolf versus Tristel. Varels versus Ursine. Will Wagner versus Archfield. Ooh, that's 2 really nice ones at the end. Tyrnex versus Betastrep and Sparkover versus Xarnax.
Yeah, I definitely see some very, very exciting matchups. So one that I would be excited to see for myself would be Game Boy F9 versus Silverfire, just because I've never seen Silverfire race, so it would be interesting to watch a showcase of their skill. And then also looking down towards the end here, we have Will Wagner Music versus Archfield Monk. Will Wagner Music is a very, very talented runner. Archfield Monk is fairly new to the randomizer and has accomplished a pretty impressive record and just continues to make some really good plays and things. So that'll be a matchup to look out for.
Yeah, both of them actually were 2-0, but were not quite able to get it done this week. So they'll be taking on each other to try to advance to the playoff stages.
And then we
Yeah,
have
I believe Archfield has been around for a while, just been tracking and restreaming, but it's just now breaking into running, kind of like Ferran. So Ferran kind of being scared about facing up to NG, but who knows what will happen.
Yeah, I can definitely see the reason behind that. Up to NG is fantastic runner. He does a great job. But Veron, he has a lot of knowledge about this game. He's been commentating it forever, and I dare say that he knows just about everything there is to know.
Yeah, Ferran certainly knows Louch, has been commentating for a very long time. Great mind, has just now been able to get streaming going in order to run races. So fairly new, but I do believe he has already won a race. So, well, a race outside of the tournament, a bit of a bigger race he was able to take down. So, yeah, certainly not an opponent to sleep on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Spark over at Xarnax, we just watched Xarnax in his race, keeping it cool through a very, very difficult seed. That'll be a matchup to watch for as well. And then Turanex and Beta Strep. I know a little bit about both of these runners, but I don't face them very often. They do have fairly good records, though. And so that's definitely going to be a matchup to look out for as well.
Cool. So if that's everything for the 2 and 1, let's move on to the 1 and 2 matchups. The matchup where the loser unfortunately can't make it to the bracket and the winner still has a chance. So we will do the same thing. We will roll 9 times, and then we will check to see if there's any rematches, and then put the matchups together.
Yeah, looking like 7 chances that this could result in a rematch, which we would have to reroll. But yeah, 1 and 2, you're still trying to cling on to hope here. Some of our runners already clinging on to hope, coming from 0 and 2 this week, as I believe we have the list here.
Looks good to me.
All right, perfect. So talking about Bass 33 and the Hangry Canuck. The Hangry Canuck, I've done multiple restreams with him. He seems to know a lot about the game. His knowledge base is very good, and things of that nature. So a very, very talented player. Bass 33, I don't remember if he was in the league or not. I think he was, and he placed fairly well, seeing as how he had just started just before that. So there's a good matchup to look forward to. The other one that I'm really looking forward to that I see out of this particular setup is going to be Value V versus Centroid41. Both of those runners are not necessarily.
Not facing each other.
Oh, it's J-Man and Bailey V. Sorry, my bad. So I've raced against J-Man, and Valley V, and I've had good races and bad races against both of them. So I would say that they're pretty neck and neck in terms of skill levels. So that's going to be one to look out for, very much so.
So, just a quick rundown of the races. We've already gone over the first two, Basp and Canuck, J-Man versus Valov. And we have a pretty nice one right after that, Centroid versus Tilo. Just you can see the depth of the field when you have names like Tilo down fighting in 1 and 2. In the meantime, Amused Miniature and Ichben Maya are going to be going after it. Simbu versus Chitin 619. Pretty good match after that. Z-Man versus Bryce Solf. That should be interesting. JJ Smith is going to get MonsieurSlime. Fury SK versus CD Improv. Concakes versus Empty Eye. The Seawolf 1 versus Cyberdark 86. Captain Green versus Lord of the Synth. And that should be an interesting one down at the bottom. Ouija Wee versus Amazing Toaster.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a matchup to definitely look forward to. Awijui is a very, very talented runner. An amazing toaster, taking some names as well, is an excellent runner as well. So once again, this skill set kind of right there, right nice and balanced out with each other. It's just going to come down to just who's that little bit much better, who's that little bit luckier. So that's definitely a match to look for as well.
Okay, so if that's everything for that, then we'll move on to the last group, the 0-3 group. They will not be able to make the bracket, sadly, but they can still play for entertainment and having fun. And unfortunately, we did have one person who dropped out of the tournament this week, so there is an uneven amount. So whoever ends up being the last person will get a bye. They will not play. They will move to 1-3, and maybe we can try to find a matchup for them sometime this week, which unfortunately will be Pledrick.
Pledrick getting the bye as the Alan Heffley has dropped out after going to 0-3. But anyways, we got Nitsky and Moonblaze Wolf, Much Paranoia versus Vanny Van, and Scratch Dragon versus Sigma Fan will be your 0-3, just fighting it out for some honor.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's some really good skill sets here. I've done a few restreams with Von Yvonne, and he is a very knowledgeable player as well. Has picked up on it very, very quickly. So it's a little sad for me to see him down at the 0-3 bracket. As Scratch Dragon as well, I've played with him a couple of times. He's a great runner as well. So it's just unfortunate how the cards have fallen for some of these runners, and I definitely am looking forward to watching them all the same.
Yeah, if there's someone who wants to take on Pledrick like McGrew, give him a match, let him have some fun. You're welcome to step up or contact an admin or whatever, and we'll gladly we'll find a match. And stinks that when someone has to drop out, but things happen, and it's not much you can do about it. But yeah, so thank everyone, by the way, for this amazing 3 weeks so far of the Swiss. We have restreamed every single match outside of the 3 that had asked not for a restream. So we are still batting 1,000% because that's better than 100. And appreciate all of the restreamers, commentators, and trackers, and admin, and all of the other people who have helped out during this event. So I'll let our commentators finish up for the night.
All right. Well, Smashy, it has been much joy to commentate with you this evening. Math Girl, thank you so much for the restream. And once again, Up to NG, picking up that tracking for us at the last minute there, definitely being a lifesaver for more than just one person. So we definitely appreciate all the hard work that's been put in behind the scenes, and I definitely enjoyed this race.
Yeah, it's certainly been fun, both racing and commentating and doing a little tracking throughout these 3 weeks, and I hope it just keeps on going. So I think with that, we're going to go ahead and say this is Smashy for everybody here. Amazing, not amazing, amused miniature. As stuff's starting to blend together, and it's getting late. Brain, it is difficult.
I am the amused miniature. I was joined by Smashy on commentary tonight, and from all of us here at the Randomizer Network, as well as the DWR community, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful evening.